So this is a new 8-part series for Amazon. It's been adapted from a 2011 film by the co-writer of the screenplay, David Farr. Hanna is a teenage girl who spent her entire childhood being raised by a father in the woods. And this is after we see the opening scene where he helps her mother escape from the hospital with her as a newborn, and then the mother is killed. She sort of doesn't know anything but this life. But then we see her sort of meet a Polish boy who's felling trees in the woods. And this sort of inadvertently leads the people who killed the mother years ago to track her and the father down again. And at the end of the first episode, she willingly gives herself in to let her father escape.
Okay, we don't need to watch that again. But the thing is, let's talk about what you thought of this, Matt, first, because you saw the film with Saoirse Ronan. I haven't seen it, so is it hard to disconnect from that and see this as its own thing?
I found the film very forgettable. I mean, I watched it in 2011, so it's almost 8 years since I've seen it. I do remember bits of it, picking it up again, certain bits about like the mother being killed and things like that. And I remember Saoirse Ronan being raised in the woods by her father, who's played by Eric Bana in the film. This is done in a lot more detail, this sort of relationship between Hanna and her father in the first episode. That's what you get, you know, he's trying to give her the answers to these questions that she might be asked, like, what are your favourite Beatles songs? What are your favourite movies? Things like that.
Those are good social media questions, by the way.
So in terms of it being spoilt by the film, not so much yet. I wonder what David Farr will do if he changes the story somewhat. I thought the star of the show, Esme Creed-Miles, was absolutely brilliant in this. She was stunning. I mean, Hanna, it doesn't have a load of dialogue in it, the show as a whole. She expresses how she's feeling so much via sort of facial expressions and things like that. I thought she did a really good job. I don't know if I'm going to watch any more of this. It didn't sort of grab me, really. The strength of it was the performance by Esme Creed-Miles.
Let's talk about your father. Do you know why he kept you in the forest? Did he tell you where he was going? We are all worried about him. You're safe now.
She's faking. Richards, get out of there.
I have to find her before she finds us.
I'm not safe. People are trying to hurt me. I want you to trust me. I can't trust anyone.
I want to give you a normal life.
But I'm not normal, am I?
Where did you grow up?
Why? Do you think I'm weird?
I think you're wonderful.
I would agree, but the problem I had was it just felt really flat and really dull, and it didn't grab me. It felt a lot like another big Amazon action show, Jack Ryan, which I tried, which looked good, looked stunning, and had a load of stunts and drama in it, but the characters felt really thinly drawn, and I didn't really engage in the world. I do agree she was an interesting screen presence. She's the daughter of Samantha Morton and actor Charlie Creed-Miles in real life, and you could sort of see the Samantha Morton in her, those facial expressions and things. But I didn't find it gripping. I was never really... Is that phrase I always use, where sometimes a show grabs you and you're sort of in it and invested in it, and other times it does feel like you're behind a pane of glass just watching something.
It wants you to watch all 8 rather than just get your impression from the first. This is almost like a prologue, isn't it, rather than an opening episode.
I object to that in a way. What about you, Sarah? How do you feel?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't a massive fan of it, but I do think she's fantastic in it. And I did really like the very end of it, where I thought was actually quite good, but I was quite bored for the first.
Yeah.
And also, the problem I have is I just feel it's a story that's been told so many times. You know, we go all the way back to Leon, and it's like young girl who's an assassin. I'm like, yeah, okay. It's perfectly competent. It actually felt quite a lot like those versions of those network US shows you mentioned before, where it's sort of done on a perfectly all right level. You know, if I was flicking through TV on a Sunday night and it came up, I might go and watch 20 minutes of it and see how it grabbed me. But it didn't. I don't personally find Joel Kinnaman much of a screen presence. I feel like that about the version of The Killing that was remade as well. He just doesn't grab me as an actor, whereas I thought she was very good. And once it got more onto her, I was interested.
And you talk about the American version of The Killing. Mirialinos is also
It's
in
also
this as well.
there, yeah.
I think one of the big differences between the film is that the film had a sense of urgency about it. It felt very fast-paced. I remember it being really sort of well-edited and things like that. It's got a soundtrack by the Chemical Brothers. This was the antithesis of this, really. It was sort of slow and plodding because we've got 8 episodes to tell this story. You know, we've got whatever it is, like 6 hours or something, whereas before we had 90 minutes. So it does feel a little bit strung out if it's just the same story they're telling and there aren't any other bits. What was like a 15-minute bit in the film being stretched out to 45 minutes.
I found it completely humorless as well, and
Yeah.
just took itself way too seriously. I would not want to sit down to this on a sort of a rainy Sunday. It just bored me to bits. But I stayed with it because I knew I had you two watching it, but otherwise I probably would have given up.